Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Christina. Come on, Numa, you can come over and say hi. So today's video is kind of a combination of a lot of different things. Coming up to say hi? Come here, Numas. So one of the main goals that I have, you went down, sweetie, is to be as self-sufficient as possible. And so part of what that looks like for me, and it may not be the same for everyone, but for me, that means that I will have several different residual incomes so that I do not have to depend on going out and working outside of the home. So at one time I had several different things that I did that provided residual income. One of them was I wrote articles for a company called eHow, which is an online platform with how-to articles. I chose the content, I chose the pictures. Now, if I had been able to continue at the pace that I was working at, and if it had continued to pay at the rate it was paying within the year, I would have been making enough money to justify not having an outside of the home job. But unfortunately, they changed the way that they not only paid their contributors, but also the way they did the site. And so it was no longer worthwhile as a residual income for me. Another way that I planned to have residual income was through both my Amazon and Etsy shops. Now, while many of the products that I had on there were products that I was actively making, and so it was not something that I did once and then just continued to make income from, it can... So basically, residual income is something that you do once. It is like a product or a service that you provide, or you just create the one time, and then it continues to make money for you. Like book sales, that is a residual income. You write a book and it continues to make money over and over and over and over and over again. And then maybe you write another book, or I think we're disturbing Mister, so let's move on. It is really busy in the yard today, so it's hard to find a spot where I can film quietly. So you're just kind of along for the ride. So one way that people have residual income as well that may be very familiar to a lot of you is through YouTube videos. You make a video, you put it up, and then you can make money off of that. Now, before you can get to that point, there are several things that you have to meet through YouTube standards, which is to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours within 1 calendar year, I believe. Don't quote me on that, because obviously I've not reached that point. I am almost a third of the way there in subscribers, and same with watch time hours. So my goal had been by the end of this year, 2020, to be at the point where I had reached those, reached that on YouTube, but I did not. So it's just something that is going to stay on my list of to-dos, and it's getting rolled over into 2021. So in 2021, I really hope to meet that goal. So that is one way that I am trying to create a sustainable lifestyle for myself, is to have that residual income. The other way is behind me, gardening. I would love to be able to grow and put up the vast majority of the food that we eat, either in season, or put up the things that we use as staple foods, like tomatoes, and onions and peppers and squash and some brassicas. I am not there yet, but I am actively working towards that goal. And so that I have to keep telling myself that I'm actively working towards that goal, and I will get there eventually. Now is the time that I'm feeling it the hardest, where I feel like I should be self-sufficient, where I should have a sustainable lifestyle, especially if 2020 has taught my household anything. It is to not be dependent upon outside sources for food, medical, and money. They have been so unstable this year. And my heart just goes out to everybody that does not have the opportunity that I have here on my urban farm, or that people on larger farms or homesteads have. Even in a small space, you can create some self-sustainability. It may not be full. You may still be dependent upon outside sources, but even just growing some of your own food, or going from disposable paper products to, reusable ones, or relearning those lost skills like earth medicine and healing, and just how to maintain at home rather than depending on those outside sources. Those little things can make a huge difference in the way that you live and the way that you interact. Oh, no. Come on, baby. Come on. Are you coming to say hi? Oh, sweet girl. You weren't able to make that jump, were you? So even though I am no longer having babies, though I still am of childbearing years, I am only 45. I could still have more babies if I wanted. It's kind of a scary thought. I'm not going to. Oh, Numa. You just have to be right up in the way. You keep knocking everything over. So one other part of my self-sustainable lifestyle is I've had all of my babies at home, and I homeschooled my children, which again takes your dependability on the outside world. Not saying that I want to be so self-contained that I'm not using those outside resources, but those skills are there, and we utilize them so that we were not dependent upon going to a hospital to have babies. In case of an emergency, absolutely would have done that. And I wasn't dependent on outside government school, though it was there if I wanted it. So for me, having a lifestyle that is self-sustainable, that is self-contained, I guess is the word I want, that is self-sufficient, to me, that means that I can teach my children at home. I can have my children at home. I can grow my food at home. I can have home-based medicine or earth-based medicine for minor or even some major things. It's all perspective. That we don't eat meat, and so since I'm not looking to have a source of meat in my small backyard, in my little urban homestead, I can create that lifestyle that I am looking for. I can grow food. I can grow fruit. I can grow herbs. I have a kitchen that I can put those things up in. I have the knowledge and continue to seek out the knowledge to learn about the various ways that you can heal and use those earth medicines. I do have chickens as a source of eggs for us if we want them. We're not big egg eaters either, but my dog actually I make a lot of her food, and that has eggs in it. So even that, if I needed to no longer go to the store and buy dog food for Lucy or cat food for the cats, I am growing stuff here on my little urban farm to be able to provide the food for my cats and my dog. Now my chickens, I am dependent upon store sourced food for them, and you know, within the yard space that I have, I will never reach the point where I could source that food for them, you know, here on this piece of property that we're on. So I do have some outside things that I'm dependent upon. And if I no longer had the chickens, then I would no longer have some of that food source through the eggs for the food for Lucy and my cats. So I would lose that ability. So there are some things that I'm still working out. But basically, I just wanted to share with you guys what having a sustainable lifestyle looked like for me here on my little urban farm. I apologize for all the background noises and activities. That's just part of living in town. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, please give them a thumbs up. If any of the content that I've shown on my channel so far is something that interests you, please consider subscribing. I am working towards that goal of having 1,000 subscribers so I can be monetized on YouTube. But because I am working towards that self-sustainable lifestyle, that is one of the pieces in the puzzle that I need to obtain. So please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks, everyone. Take care.